so much tragedy.
Some people are drowning. Some people are dying in some of those ranches. If we find bodies or bones, whatever. So why take a risk? Why make those people come like this?
The Biden administration is providing humanitarian relief for Venezuelans by issuing more work permits.
We can't spike the ball, but we appreciate that 15,000 migrant asylum seekers are now something that we can look towards moving out of our care.
In the meantime, U.S. Customs and Border Protection is temporarily suspending traffic at the Texas border crossing to help the U.S. Border Patrol take migrants into custody.
U.S. troops are being deployed to the Texas and Mexico borders as they face a huge migrant surge.
The GOP has only days to reach an agreement or else they face a government shutdown.
And the WGA has finally reached a tentative deal with major Hollywood studios.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV News at Noon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining ntTV News at Noon. I'm Grace Escobar.
And I'm Sydney Jolivet. Thousands of migrants across the world are illegally crossing the U.S.-Mexico border each month. The resources to prevent the crossing are being stretched thin, so the U.S. is deploying troops to aid with the surge. Ivan Rodriguez reports.
A state of emergency is declared by the mayor in Eagle Pass, Texas, as the surge of migrants crossing the border continues. Also, in response to the surge, the Defense Department is deploying more than 800 new active duty personnel to the U.S.-Mexico border. Around 2,700 migrants crossed into the U.S. near Eagle Pass on Tuesday, while another 3,000 migrants crossed on Wednesday. Many migrants trekking a dangerous path.
What we consider to be a humanitarian crisis is what the people endure on the journey to the border in the hands of smugglers. We see so much trauma, so much tragedy.
Some people are drowning. Some people are dying in some of those ranches. If we will find bodies or bones, whatever. So why take a risk? Why make those people come like this?
The Biden administration is providing humanitarian relief for Venezuelans by issuing more work permits.
We can't spike the ball, but we appreciate that 15,000 migrant asylum seekers are now something that we can look towards moving out of our care.
In the meantime, U.S. Customs and Border Protection is temporarily suspending traffic at the Texas border crossing to help the U.S. Border Patrol take migrants into custody.
It's something very strange. Never thought I was going to see something like that in Eagle Pass.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
An overflow shelter is opening in El Paso, Texas, to help manage the number of migrants coming into the U.S. The facility can hold around 400 people. However, city leaders say El Paso is reaching a breaking point with the surge of migrants. Officials report they receive more than 2,000 migrants a day and already have about 7,000 people already in shelters. The city of El Paso has served more than 16,000 meals in the last 10 days. One city official stated El Paso was receiving monetary support from the federal government, but that isn't a long-term solution for the overflow of migrants entering the U.S. around El Paso.
The date for a government shutdown is just a few days away, and Washington is trying to prepare for the worst. Some federal agencies are bringing government jobs to a halt. If the shutdown does happen, many other operations could be affected. John Lornick has the story.
Congress has until Saturday to make a deal to keep the government funded, but members from both parties aren't feeling optimistic.
If we have a government shutdown, which I'm sad to say at this point looks likely, it will be because there are a couple dozen Republican members at least who want a government shutdown.
GOP Rep. Tim Burchett of Tennessee is among those holding his ground.
The American public knows what we're up to, and they're sick and tired of it. That's why folks like me, we're sticking to our guns, and all of a sudden we're the bad guys because we want to balance our budget.
Should the shutdown occur, nearly 4 million federal employees will be affected immediately, including the non-essential workers being furloughed until the shutdown is over. It would also have a snowball effect across the U.S., including the Bureau of Labor Statistics not releasing financial data, which would make it hard for the Federal Reserve and investors to figure out the economy. And the White House says travel will be affected as well by air traffic controllers and TSA workers not getting paid to work. While there are discussions about how to keep things running,
let's pass a 30 to 60-day continuing resolution. Let's make sure it's not loaded up.
It appears to be an uphill battle.
You can't keep spending $7 trillion when you're only taking in $5 trillion. That just doesn't work.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Leaders of the bipartisan House problem-solving team say they will attempt to force a vote to keep the government funded through January 11th.
The first day of fall was this weekend, but I don't really feel like we're getting that much fall weather.
No, I need these 90 degrees days to stop. Sydney Johnson has more on the forecast.
Thank you, ladies, and good afternoon at North Texas. Really quickly, let's take a look at the conditions that you can expect if you step out of your house right now. The skies are a bit cloudy. We're looking at a temperature of about 78. The humidity is making it feel like 86. We're still getting a lot of that heat with a wind speed of about 1. Now we can take a look at what you guys can expect for later today going into tonight. Later on tonight, it's going to get down to 67, and it's actually going to feel around 67, around 66. We're still expecting some clouds in the sky with the wind speed of about 5 miles per hour. And now, finally, let's take a look at what we can expect tomorrow and into tomorrow morning. It's going to be a bit hotter. We're still reaching those low 90-degree weathers. It's going to feel about 95, that humidity again taking a kick at us. And we're looking at about wind speeds of 7 miles per hour. I'll be back later with our 7-day forecast. Back to the desk.
For the first time in 3 years, student loan payments are due in October. The Biden administration is providing an on-ramp period until September 30th of 2024. Borrowers will be allowed to skip their payments without facing financial consequences of defaulting their loans for the next 12 months. During this time, a borrower will not be reported in default to the national credit rating agencies, but interest will accumulate. More information can be found on the Department of Education's website.
One African-American family in Texas is suing state officials, including the governor, after their teen son was suspended for weeks because of his lock hairstyle. The lawsuit that was filed over the weekend argues that 17-year-old Daryl George's suspension is a violation of this state's Crown Act. The Crown Act is a law that prohibits discrimination against hair texture and protective styles like Daryl's locks. The lawsuit also alleges that Governor Greg Abbott and Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton have failed to enforce the law since it went into effect earlier this month. While the school officials have stated that George's locks violate the school district's dress code, the former president of the NAACP believes the suspension is a violation of state law.
This young man is wearing this style, which includes strands of hair from his grandfather. It reflects his heritage, that he's not being allowed to wear this hairstyle because it violates a policy which violates both common sense and, I believe, violates state law.
They were told that the teen would be sent to an alternative school if he refused to cut his hair.
Coming up, the WGA strike has finally made progress, while the UAW strike.
Did you know you have access to video equipment like DVDs, video games, and cameras? That's right, you do. Come on down to Chilton Library and fulfill your media dream. Located on the bottom floor next to the student sculpture. Hope to see you there soon.
Hey girl, you know you look good. I like the way you move and groove. I'm not sure.
All right, look up here. 1, 2, 3.
Mom, Dad, I got it.
You're right, Mom. I have.
Hollywood studios and the Writers Guild of America have reached a tentative deal to end the strike after nearly 150 days. On Sunday evening, WGA announced the agreement in an email to over 11,000 members. The email called the deal exceptional. The news of the tentative deal comes a day after the studio announced they have delivered their best and final offer. The Guild believes the leverage generated by the strike is what, quote, brought the companies back to the table to make a deal. The contract still has to be approved by the union's members. WGA can authorize members to return to work as soon as Tuesday before the deal is ratified. Another major strike happening right now is the United Auto Workers strike. Even after escalating its strike against Detroit automakers Friday, the union still has plenty of leverage in its effort to force the companies to agree to significant increases in pay and benefits. Roughly 12% of the union's members so far are taking part in the walkout. The UAW has the ability to expand the number of workers who could strike assembly plants and parts facilities of General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis.
It may come to no surprise, but yesterday was the warmest September 24th since 1907. Temperatures rose to 100 degrees at the DFW airport, with the previous record being 116 years ago at 99 degrees. A heat advisory was even issued due to the high humidity. Although this weekend marked the first day of fall, temperatures didn't really feel like it. Sydney, what can we expect for the rest of this week?
Thank you, Sydney. Well, actually, despite the excruciating temperatures that we experienced yesterday, our severe thunderstorm weather warning that we've had the past couple of days have finally passed and is expected to bring some of those cooler temperatures down into the North Texas area. As you can see, if we're looking at Bowie and 70s, as you get to Denton and Fort Worth, we're getting a little bit hotter, getting towards the 80s, low 80s, high 70s feel. McKinney, Sherman, and Dallas are sitting right at that mid-70s level. Hopefully we can start to experience these cooler temperatures more often as we get into the first week of October. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our state temperatures. As you can see, OKC has gotten a little bit cooler up at the top. It looks like we've got those cooler temperatures. As you get lower down into Denton, Austin, Houston area, we're still reaching those high 70s, low 80s. Hopefully it can start to get a bit cooler progressively as we continue. And now we're going to take a look at our 7-day forecast. So starting tomorrow, we're still, majority of the week, reaching our mid-90s, low 90 temperatures, still going to be pretty warm. Our mornings can expect to feel pretty nice, but as we get into the afternoon, make sure that you guys stay hydrated, wear sunscreen if needed. Our lows are looking about high 60s, mid 70s, and we can expect some precipitation lower as we get into later in the week and this weekend. At about 8% and 9%. So make sure you guys stay hydrated. You might need your umbrellas later on this week. And that's what we have for our 7-day forecast today. So back to you guys at the desk.
The steps leading up to Willis Library are usually filled with students walking to and from class. But on Wednesdays, those steps are occupied by Scott McDonald. Every Wednesday, the steps leading up to Willis Library on West Highland Street is occupied by Scott McDonald. McDonald started speaking to students at UNT in the fall of 2019 after he heard a man preaching what he called a toxic message.
Nicknamed him Captain Toxic. He would stand on a little perch and he would set up a microphone here and he would have a microphone and he would incite people to arguments and really vitriolic discussions. I determined I am not going to let this stand. And I promise the Lord, I'm coming back every Wednesday that he's here.
For McDonald's regular 9 to 5, he works as a realtor. But on Wednesdays, his day looks very different.
I'll get here about 8 o'clock. I'll set up. I'll make sure that I'm in the right frame of mind. And so I'll start. And then I'll go through the day. I typically will cover the proverb of the day. And that's whatever day of the month it is. I'll talk about it. I will try and relate the truths to everyday life.
Over the past 4 years, McDonald has built a community for the students who come and listen to him.
My first semester here, I didn't have a community. I gave my life to Christ during the pandemic, but I kind of fell off. And then just hearing him talk kind of made me curious. And I just come to talk to him because he just shows a lot of the fruits of the Spirit and it's just a lot of love.
McDonald believes that consistency is what has allowed his community to grow.
The one thing I have done is I've kept my promises. I've promised for 4 years that I will be here every Wednesday, rain, shine, sleet, snow, tornadoes, hurricanes, doesn't matter, I'm going to be here. And students have told me your consistency more than anything else has had a huge impact on the students here.
Reporting for North Texas Television, I'm Grace Escobar.
The University of North Texas and Texas Women's University have teamed up for a NASA-funded research project to work on the Artemis moon landings. The universities received a $900,000 grant from NASA for a 3-year-long project with the intention of helping put the first woman and first person of color on the moon. With this grant, 3 Denton professors will work on creating a film coating that can withstand rapid temperature changes and protect from the damage of dust and terrain. The team consists of UNT's Mechanical Engineering Assistant Professor Richard Zhang and Jeffrey Keller, an Analytical Surface Materials Chemistry Professor, as well as TWU's Associate Professor in the Chemistry and Biochemistry Department, John Beatty. Zhang is the group's primary investigator. The group submitted their proposal to NASA in April and have since been working to calculate how to move forward. Zhang said that they should see physical results in a year or 2. Research will be conducted using Kelber's chemistry equipment in Zhang's mechanical engineering lab at Discovery Park. They also hope to utilize NASA's moon dust simulator later on in the project. One challenging factor at the moment is getting qualified students to apply. Even though the project is a great opportunity for work and experience, they understand how hard it can be for students to maintain a research project and sustainable job. Both universities and their professors hope with the involvement of a large-scale operation with NASA, they'll each gain more traction with their departments and local recognition.
UNT is currently hosting a special event to encourage students to get tested, and it may involve some fun arts and crafts.
And we finally get to see who will be performing at this year's Super Bowl. We'll tell you who when we come back.
Of passion.
Oh, Hector, it will be so hard for us to part, but we must.
But, my love, what did I do? I thought we were meant to be together forever.
I am so disheartened to say that you're just not in style anymore. But you will be, to someone else, in a better place.
You're gonna shred me?
No.
I'm donating you to one of the many clothing donation boxes available on campus. There is one in the Union by the Syndicate and one on Union Circle Drive.
Oh, well, why didn't you just say so? I'm gonna be someone's new shirt.
I thought you'd be more distressed.
Oh, absolutely not. It was cramped in your closet anyways.
Maybe you would like to be shredded after all.
What does Talents do?
So I'm the Vice President of External Relations for Talents. That means that I basically oversee all the external committees. Our external committees entail our Model A, it's a mean green machine. So they bring it to football games especially, so every game it's kind of there, every home game. The Model A is like a symbol of UNC pride, and it's a big tradition that we are so lucky to uphold and maintain. When people look at it, they see it, and they're like, oh, that's the mean green machine. There must be a game today or something to ramp up school spirit for basketball, softball, volleyball, any of those things. We have amazing teams, so we just want to show school spirit for them. Bonfire Committee, which is in charge of putting together the bonfire every year for homecoming. It's kind of just a whole semester-long process up until Build Week that we have to put together and oversee and make sure safety regulations are followed and risk management is taken care of. Cannon Crew, which oversees and takes care of the cannon. They fire it at games, they take it to special occasions.
Want to try? I hear our segment anchor, Macy Terry, might have something for you to try. Macy?
Thanks, Grace. Some of the best food in Denton can be found on Fry Street. And if you're a college student or someone who's always up late, I might have the place for you. DP Dough is the newest restaurant on Fry Street, serving up delicious made-to-order calzones. I headed over there to see what was inside the calzones.
DP Dough opened on Fry Street earlier this summer and is serving up delicious calzones until 3 a.m. 7 days a week.
We make calzones, the original calzone company.
The shop features many different types of calzones, perfect for everyone, and several other menu options for all your cravings.
The last 3 months, we've kind of came up with the top 4, right? And that's, of course, your basic roni, pepperoni and cheese, the roni zoni, the Italian, then the chicken parmesan, and the combat zones. 26th of this month, so Tuesday, we are doing a free calzone day. And you're going to have an option of 3 different types of calzones. We have the roni, the Italian, and the spinner for those who do not wish to eat meat or anything along those lines.
DP Dough has a vast array of different ingredients and can make any calzone perfect for you.
At least, we are very laid back. I'll be on the register, or I'll be cooking. I'm joking. I'm laughing with the customers, with the employees. It's more of a you come in. It's a good time.
When your calzone's finished, they will box it up. Just like that, it's time to eat, and it's sure to be delicious.
Those calzones sure were delicious. I will definitely be back on Tuesday for Free Calzone Day. Maybe I'll see you guys there. Now back to y'all at the desk.
I don't know about you, Grace, but she will definitely see me there on Tuesday.
For sure.
Today is at the Health and Wellness Center here at UNT. They are hosting a Get Tie-Dyed and Tested event. Our reporter Paisley McGee is out there live with the event with more information. Paisley?
Thank you, guys. Even though talking about sexually transmitted diseases and infections like chlamydia and HIV can be a hush-hush topic, it doesn't have to be. Here on the main campus near Sage Hall, out on the lawn, the Students Health and Wellness Center is hosting a Get Tie-Dye and Tested event free for all UNT students from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. They have great information about who to contact, where the center is located. They also have information about their clubs, like the Condom Club, the Mean Green Screen, and you can also tie-dye your own bandana, which I did. This event is helping to raise awareness about the importance of practicing safe sex. I am Paisley McGee signing out. Back to you at the desk.
NFL Sunday was for sure more entertaining than normal for Taylor Swift fans.
That is so true. She definitely made the game more interesting. Our sports anchor Omar Martinez has more on what happened this weekend. Omar?
Well, I don't know about y'all, but I feel like talking about sports. So stay after the break to hear me speak now about what is going on in the sports world.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Let's get started. This is a motor vehicle. This is the blinker mechanism. To use it, push it up for the right blinker and down to go left. You're welcome. It was easy.
Man, I have all these non-perishable food items and I don't know what to do with them.
I don't have any food at all.
Do you have too many non-perishable goods?
Yeah.
Have you run out of food and can't get any more?
Yeah.
Well, don't have a cow. Head on down to the UNT Food Pantry. Located behind Crumley Hall and Diamond Eagle Student Resource Center, the Food Pantry is the place for UNT students to get all the food they need. You'll be utterly surprised by all the options they have there. From gluten-free to lactose intolerant, even vegan and vegetarian, they have it all. Go to studentaffairs.unt.edu/food pantry for more information.
Move on down to the UNT Food Pantry.
So a man's been walking in the desert for days at a time. He finally comes across a bar and orders a Coke.
That's not funny.
Are y'all ready for it? Well, there's a love story brewing in the NFL as Taylor Swift was seen at yesterday's Bears-Chiefs game rooting for alleged lover Travis Kelce. Swift was seen hanging out with Mama Kelce up in the suites as the Chiefs straight up embarrassed the Bears, beating them 41-10. Kelce finished the day as the Chiefs' leading receiver with 69 yards and a touchdown. Kelsey now owns 71 career touchdown receptions to rank second in franchise history, just 5 touchdowns away from becoming the one. Mahomes had himself a game of his wildest dreams, as he usually does, going 15 of 20 for 169 yards and 2 touchdowns in the first half. Guess you could say he gave the Bears karma for passing on him in the 2017 draft. Mahomes did leave the game early due to injury, but this did not matter as the Bears are just delicate and in contention for worst team in the league. Looks like the Bears' cruel summer is continuing into the fall. And now to a game most of us North Texans are going to want to shake it off. The Dallas Cowboys get stunned in the desert as they fall to the Arizona Cardinals, 28-16. The defense, I guess, did not take the play in Arizona as they allowed 400 yards from the Josh Dobbs-led Arizona offense. This comes after they just allowed only 386 yards of offense combined the last 2 games. The Cowboys did have a chance late in the fourth, but a turnover on 4th down and an end zone interception all but ended Dallas' 2-week dominance. Guess Cowboys fans wish Dak missed the plane instead. There's just something about those Cardinals as the Cowboys just can't seem to beat them. They have lost their last 7 to 8 against the Cards. Hopefully the Cowboys can bounce back as they welcome back Ezekiel Elliott and the Patriots to Jerry World. And now we transition from football to lacrosse as I talk to one of the local area's lacrosse teams about the struggle many lacrosse organizations face here in Texas.
Under the shadow of football, baseball, and soccer lies lacrosse, a sport often left on the sidelines.
Right now, lacrosse is just a club sport. There aren't organized leagues.
Lacrosse is currently not a UIL sport in Texas, meaning kids who want to play have to pay.
In high school, we paid for everything. We had fundraisers that we had to organize. We paid for all of our uniforms. We paid for all of our gear. The high school would not let us use any of their fields to practice.
Local clubs such as the Flower Mound Lacrosse Association try their best to make lacrosse more accessible to kids in North Texas.
We currently utilize Bakersfield, the Community Activity Center, and then we have a church that we also utilize. So, you know, anytime you can have more fields to practice on and to play games on, that you're not competing with other associations such as the Glasses Soccer, would be beneficial for the program.
The association currently has to pay to rent and maintain the fields they use at Bakersfield Park, and these fields only serve 60% of the practices they hold throughout the season, which is why forming a partnership with the UIL or the local school district is crucial to help keep their operation afloat.
If it was a UIL sport, if it was more associated with the schools, there'd be a little more structure, as you talk about with the different districts in UIL sports, and then obviously you'd have just a little more infrastructure with fields available.
According to the Texas High School Lacrosse League, the UIL currently has no interest in adding lacrosse. But as for the Flower Mound Lacrosse Association, they have an upcoming meeting with Louisville ISD to discuss a potential partnership.
That is all I have for sports. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Omar. And staying in the world of sports, the National Football League and Apple Music have confirmed that Usher will be headlining the Super Bowl 58. Usher said in a statement that, quote, "I can't wait to bring the world a show unlike anything else they've seen from me before. It is still unknown what other artists Usher might invite to perform with him, but the artists he has worked with in the past include Lil Jon, Ludacris, Alicia Keys, and will.i.am. The game will take place on Sunday, February 11th at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas." Do you know any Usher songs?
I know some, but I cannot name them off the top of my head. But I am excited to see what kind of show he puts on.
I am excited to see the show as well. Thanks for watching ntTV News at Noon.
Join us again tonight at 6 and tomorrow at noon here on North Texas Television.